Hi everybody, welcome back to Harvest Moon Farm. If this is your first time visiting my channel, my name is Mickey. Welcome. And today we are going to make something called Easy Garlic Butter Beef Cheeseburger Roll-Ups. Long name, but they look amazing, and so I'm super excited to get going on these. These look pretty simple. They're basically just a cheeseburger rolled up in a tortilla, but they look really, really good. So let me gather up some ingredients and we'll get started. Okay, the first thing we want to do is preheat our oven to 375. And then I have a 1 pound package of ground beef, and we're just going to cook that up. So we want to use about a tablespoon of olive oil in our pan. Oops. Then we're just going to get that cooking. Unfortunately, I am completely out of the beef that I bought last. That was grass-fed, grass-finished. So I'm going to have to, once I can get my boys to help me get my freezer up in my apartment, then I'm going to have to order some good beef and get it stored here. So we're just going to cook this over medium-high heat until it's done. We want to go ahead and break it up as it cooks. That's going to take 7 or 8 minutes or so. You just want to cook it until it's completely done. Our ground beef is just about done. A couple more minutes and we should have it all cooked through. And I did buy the 93%, the 93.7 package of ground beef, so I shouldn't have to drain this. There shouldn't really be a lot of grease. This is another reason I miss my grass-fed beef, is it doesn't have a lot of fat in it, or a lot of extra fat, I guess I should say. Okay, so this is cooked through. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. And we're going to add our seasonings, which I got out while this was cooking. So we need a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And I'm just going to, I'm not going to measure these. I never do. You guys know that. That looks like a tablespoon. We need a teaspoon of onion powder. Teaspoon of garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and then we're just going to add some, oh that smells so good, we're just going to add some salt and pepper to taste. So I'm just going to sprinkle some salt in here. And we'll do a sprinkle of pepper. Alright, so now I'm just going to start, I'm just going to go ahead and stir this around, mix it all up well. We're going to turn the heat off. Make sure that we get this all mixed into our meat. Oh my gosh, I wish you guys could smell this. Oh man, it smells so good. Okay, we're going to remove that from the heat so that it does not keep cooking while we're getting everything else ready. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and make up our garlic butter. I have 3 garlic cloves here. This is garlic that came out of my garden last year before I moved out. So I'm going to go ahead and get that in there. I'm using my little garlic mincer. And I have had these in the freezer, but I let them thaw. They thaw really quickly. It doesn't take very long to get them where you can put your garlic through this little mincer. Oops. Go. And then we want 1/4 cup of butter, which is 1/2 stick. The lines are off just a hair on this one, so I'll just kind of eyeball that. And we're just going to use this to brush over the top of our tortillas after we have everything all rolled up. So I'm just going to stick this in the microwave and let our butter get all melted. So here is our melted butter and our garlic. And now we're just going to put our roll-ups all together. So we need 4 large tortillas, 4 large flour tortillas, and these are, I think these are the burrito size, soft taco size. I did buy the low carb ones just because I'm trying to be a little bit careful of my carbs. So we need 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to lay all 4 of my tortillas out on my counter. That is clean. And the first thing we're going to do is just evenly distribute this meat mixture on these 4 tortillas. So I'm just going to spoon this out on here. Whoops, getting it all over. And just divide it up as best you can. There we go. And now I'm actually going to taste a piece of this. That's good. Okay, so then we're going to use we've got some mozzarella cheese and some cheddar cheese. We want to use 1/2 cup of each total. And again, I'm just going to eyeball it. I tend not to measure things like this. But if you are more comfortable measuring, we're going to use 1/2 cup total, so about 1/8 cup for each roll up, which I've used way more than that, but that's okay. So there's our cheddar cheese, and then we want to use our mozzarella. Same thing, about 1/2 cup for all of it. If I can get the package open, that is. Oh my goodness. Wow, struggling today. Okay. Mozzarella. I'll put my cheese back in the fridge. Okay, so now what we want to do is roll these up as tight as we can get them. Pick up all my toppings that are kind of trying to get away from me, or filling, I guess, not toppings. And I'm going to roll this up, make sure that you don't tear your tortilla. And then I'm going to kind of tuck the ends in a little bit, like that. So they look kind of like that. And then I'm just going to put them on a cookie tray. I have a cookie tray here with a piece of parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, you can always use a little bit of spray or butter or whatever you'd like to kind of grease that so that they don't stick. And And I'm thinking I maybe should have gotten a bigger tortilla. And that's okay. We're gonna make this work. These are gonna be really full. Oh shoot. Okay, those are not going to be as pretty as the authors. That's okay. They will still taste good. And then we're going to someplace, there we go, right in front of my face. We're going to use our brush and we're just going to brush our garlic butter over the top of each of these. Oh man, look at that. I definitely think I should have gotten the bigger tortillas. So you know, there's some that are made for, I guess those bigger ones are for like a burrito size. That's probably what you need for this. But this is what I have, so this is what we're using. We're gonna make this work. They're just gonna be nice and fat roll-ups. This is gonna flavor up the top of this tortilla, and it's also going to give it a nice golden brown as it cooks. All right, so now we are going to pop this pan into the oven and we're going to let these cook 12 to 15 minutes. Our roll-ups are going to be a nice golden brown and your cheese should be all bubbly and melted. So into the oven these go. Okay, so while those bake, I'm going to clean up some of this mess and I'll be back when these come out of the oven. Okay, so the timer is about to go off. I did go ahead and add a few more minutes. They don't look as brown as they did on my recipe sheet. That's okay. My oven may or may not be really where it should be. I'm in an apartment. Who knows how long this oven's been here. There it is. But they are done. Let me hold on to this sheet so you can see here. Wow. So I thought I overdid it with the cheese, but I don't think I did. They smell so good. So you can eat these with mustard or ketchup or just like they are. You could add some pickles to the top. This recipe, really, you could do a lot of different things when you make it. I was just thinking about this. You could add some sliced or chopped onion when you roll it, and then when you put it in the oven, then they'll just kind of cook and not be super soft and sweet. So they'll be more like eating a cheeseburger with fresh onion. Like I said, you could add pickle to the top of this. Whatever you wanted to do. You could add whatever kind of fillings that you wanted. So there they are. I'm going to eat mine plain. I think I may add some ketchup. I did slice up some red pepper to have with it. I was going to add cucumber, and my cucumber was past its sell-by date for sure. So there we go. So that is my dinner for tonight. There are 4 of them. I'm probably only going to eat one, so I've got some for lunch tomorrow at work. I may offer some to my friend if I just talk to him tonight. And then tomorrow is one of my sister's birthdays. We're going out to eat for her birthday. And then on Thursday, today's Tuesday, then on Thursday I am going to make a street corn chicken rice bowl that looks amazing. So we'll be back in a couple days to put that together. Okay guys, I'm back. It's actually Friday, not Thursday. I ended up eating leftovers last night. So today we are going to make our street corn chicken rice bowl. So this recipe, we're going to use chicken. I've got some basmati rice here. You can use that. You can use jasmine. The author says those are best. Really, you could use any rice that you wanted. If you want to do a low carb option, you can use quinoa or cauliflower rice. Then we've got frozen corn. It calls for avocado. I'm not a fan of avocado, so I'm going to leave that out. Cilantro, lime juice, cheese, chili powder, and then sour cream and mayo is going to go into part of our little dressing. So first thing we're going to do is start our rice. And I had to hunt for my rice maker. I bought a new one when I moved out. I left the one that I had for my ex-husband because he makes rice quite a bit. So I left that for him. So I had to buy a new one and it took me forever to find it. So I'm going to use about a cup of rice. Oops, that doesn't go in there. And I'm going to add a cup of water. Put the lid in. I'm going to put this over here on the counter and plug it in and let it do its thing. Alright, so I bought a package of chicken today. I'm very sad that I'm out of my own chicken. But we do what we can. Okay, so this recipe is supposed to make 2 to 3 servings. There's just me, obviously, so I am just going to, I'm going to go ahead and cook enough for the 2 servings, but I might end up using the other piece of chicken for another recipe. And actually, that's a giant piece of chicken. Go ahead and get the fat off of it. I don't know if you guys have ever watched Sutton's Days, but she calls these, oh my gosh, I can't remember now. She calls them monster boobies or something like that. I don't know. She cracks me up. The chicken that you buy in these packages from that place with the blue and yellow label, the chickens are giant. Chicken breasts are giant. So we are going to season our chicken. Oh, I was going to do 2. Silly. Get another piece, and then I'll put the rest of these back in the fridge, and I'm going to do something different with the remaining chicken breasts. I hate throwing it in the trash. I miss when I had my daughter's dog at the house because he always got the fat that I cut off the chicken, and he was always so happy. But he lives with her, not with me, thank goodness. Okay. It says season with salt, pepper, and chili powder. It does not say season both sides. It just says make sure that you've got even coverage. So I'll probably season both sides. That was silly. So there's our pepper. I need to refill my salt jar. So that I can get at it easier. I was looking all over and it's right here. Okay, chili powder. And just sprinkle a little bit over each side of our chicken, just like the salt and pepper. Like that. All right, we're going to put a little olive oil in our skillet, and we're just going to go ahead and cook our chicken. We're going to let that heat up a little bit, and once it's hot, we'll go ahead and add our chicken, and then we'll let that cook about 7 or 8 minutes on each side until our chicken is completely done. While that's heating up, before I put our chicken in, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this other chicken up in a bag and get it in the fridge so I can process it tomorrow. So it is actually very early in the day. It's just now 4 o'clock, but I have not eaten anything today and I am starving. So I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna have dinner early today. That's the beauty of living by yourself. You can eat when and wherever and how much you want. I broke my spoon rest the other day. I opened the cabinet, a glass fell out, landed right on it, and broke the little handle off. Okay, while the chicken finishes cooking, we're going to go ahead and chop our cilantro. We need, gosh, I can't see, about 1/4 cup chopped. The good thing is I got some other recipes that use a lot of these same ingredients, so we can use up the rest of our chicken and some of this other stuff that we're using today in our other recipe. Makes a delicious salad. And then we're going to go ahead and mix up our dressing while this is finishing cooking as well. So we're going to use about 2 tablespoons of sour cream, and I'm not going to measure any of this really. I'm just going to kind of eyeball. About a tablespoon of mayo. Had to turn the stove down. The chicken's getting a little smoky. And then we're going to add a little pinch of chili powder, salt and pepper, and a little bit of fresh lime juice. I don't have limes to get fresh lime juice, but the lime juice that I have is really good. So let's see, chili powder. I'm gonna drop in everything. Just a little pinch. Just a little salt. Pepper. Kind of panicked because for a minute I thought I didn't have any lime juice, but it was still in my pantry. I could have used lemon juice, I guess, if that was all I had, but lime juice is definitely better. Let's give this a good shake. A little squirt in there. Then we're just gonna stir this up. I want to get this thin enough that we can, whoops, making a mess. Thin enough that we can easily coat our chicken salad, but not runny. Let's just do a little taste here. Let's see. We need a little more salt. taste. Ooh, that's good. That will be really good on our salad. So our chicken is fairly close to being done. What I'm gonna do now is I've got a cup of frozen sweet corn. I'm gonna go ahead and add that in while the chicken finishes cooking. That's gonna it's gonna leave the corn pretty crunchy, but it's also going to give it a nice smoky flavor from the way that we seasoned our chicken. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that in. And we'll go ahead and let that keep cooking now until our chicken is completely done. So our rice is done. I went ahead and unplugged it so that the bottom layer of rice does not burn and stick to the bottom of our pan. And this is going to give me a little bit of extra rice too that I can use in some other recipe later this week. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on the chicken pan so that we can get it finished cooking without it getting too brown. So the small piece of chicken is just about done. The bigger piece is going to take a little longer, but that's okay. We can go ahead and let it keep cooking while we mix up the rest of our bowl. So I took this small piece out of the pan. We're gonna let it rest just for a minute or two before we cut it into pieces. So the corn is done. I went ahead and took that out, and I'm gonna use, I don't know, maybe a little less than half of it in my bowl. We'll let the rest cool, and we're gonna go ahead and cut up our chicken now. And I'm just gonna cut it into bite-sized pieces. We're going to add this chicken to our bowl. We're going to add some of our cilantro. And add a little splash of lime juice. And I have chicken stuck in my tooth, so I hope you guys can't see it. Then we're going to add some of our dressing. Again, I'm going to add probably, I don't know, a little less than half. And then I'm going to mix this all up in my bowl. And then we're going to give it a taste. Oh my gosh, it looks so pretty. So there's how that looks. So I'm going to give that, we're going to give this a taste. Get a little bite with everything in it. Oh my goodness. This is so good. Wow. Really good. Okay, so we're gonna let that other piece of chicken finish cooking, and then I'll just set it to the side and let it cool. Put it in the refrigerator and do something else with it later this week. I'm going to go ahead and eat my dinner now, even though it's only 4:25. That's okay. When everything else is cool, I'll go ahead and put it in the refrigerator, and then I'll use it for, like I said, something else one of these upcoming days. That's going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I will, as always, add both of these recipes to the description box. If you guys have any questions, if you try it, if you make any substitutions, let me know how it turned out. I'm curious. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.